If you ever felt lost in your pursuit of happiness, then you need to watch this video because the secret might be closer than you think. I'd like to prompt a reflection on happiness. We all want it, yet we all often struggle to attain it or even to maintain it. In this video, we'll discuss what baseline happiness is, how to pursue happiness effectively, and why you might already be closer to a happier life than you even realize. We've all heard the saying that money can't buy happiness, but why do so many of us still believe that success and possessions equal joy? I feel compelled to discuss this topic because I'm a born pessimist who found evidence in science suggesting happiness has a genetic component to it, leading me to believe that there is little I can do about this, so kind of outsourcing the control to the exterior. I was a strong advocate of Murphy's Law, which is just pessimist take on the law of attraction. I've divided the content of this video into 3 sections for easier navigation and understanding of the concepts I'd like to present, with the hope of prompting some reflection on what happiness means to you and how you can achieve it. Hi, I'm Marta. Welcome to my channel where we talk about mental diets, emotional regulation, meditation, self-observation, and all that good stuff. So let me start with an encouraging thought. You already have what it takes to be happy right now. What do I mean by this? Let's say that you want to believe in the idea that happiness is within your control. You already possess faith, the key factor here. It's just directed toward the wrong belief, the polar opposite of what you actually want to believe in. Therefore, you don't need to change anything, learn anything new, force or trick yourself into some new routines and habits. You don't need to struggle to change who you are and how you perceive the world and your life. None of this is necessary because you're already doing all that is necessary. You are perfect as it is. The only adjustment required from you is to redirect efforts towards believing in your own power to create happiness. A mere change of direction or focus of your faith. And that's all. To be truly happy, there must be no reason for happiness. It's just about embracing a state of being rather than pursuing a goal. I am happy because I embody love, bliss, fulfillment, abundance. However, in our quest for joy, we often find ourselves chasing happiness as if it were a destination. So let's explore what happiness truly means and how we can shift our mindset from pursuit to presence. As a lifelong pessimist, I spent years convinced that happiness was a genetic lottery I just never won. But what if I told you that happiness is something we can all cultivate? My go-to was Murphy's Law, and it was before I even knew I was aware of anything like the law of attraction, with Murphy's Law on one end of the spectrum and the lucky girl syndrome on the other. I believe that what can go wrong will probably go wrong, and I will prepare the scenarios B and C because I didn't believe in the first plan to actually work out. I was often proven right, unsurprisingly. I was suppressing the feelings of happiness in the name of this is just who I am, it is what it is, not knowing that my beliefs created my reality and produced my pessimistic thoughts. When we shift our mindset, trusting in the possibility of positive outcomes and letting go of the need for control, happiness becomes a choice and not a distant hope. So what really is happiness? Our perception of what causes happiness naturally vary from person to person. But happiness itself is just a state. It's the sense of peace and the knowledge that we are safe, loved, and fulfilled. It's accompanied by emotions. Emotions like joy, contentment, relief, awe, satisfaction, amusement, excitement. However, these feelings are all temporary. That's just their nature. They come and go. Thus, happiness isn't an emotion. It's a state of consciousness we can decide to dwell in which we experience some emotions. And we all possess something that I like to call our baseline happiness. This refers to this emotional state we dwell in on a daily basis without those highs and lows. It depends on our level of awareness, the gratitude we express for what we have at the moment, and the mindfulness we cultivate. Our mindset and resilience that shape our perspective on life events and, crucially, our attachment to outcomes and our desires. It also involves the life we've designed for ourselves, including our social support systems, mental health, and the sense of purpose and the meaning that motivates us each day to get out of bed. Ultimately, it's about trusting in your life, which is simply trusting in yourself. Those who listen to their needs and their intuition and surrender to the present moment are, in my opinion, best positioned to establish a strong baseline for happiness. If such a baseline is even something to achieve in the first place, it's more like something to be. People who condition their happiness on the belief that when I get that job, when I get that relationship, when I buy that house, when I get that new awesome car that I want, are unlikely to find lasting happiness. Just look at the wealthy individuals, right, who have all that richness and everything they ever desired in their life, and yet they remain unhappy. I know that money is important in life. This is exactly what people mean when they say that the money cannot buy happiness. We attach our sense of safety and enjoyment and opportunity and the possibilities in life to money, but it's just the meaning we've assigned it creates the illusion of happiness, especially when we lack it. So I hope that it makes sense to you. Because when we chase something, it starts to run away. When we pursue happiness, we signal to our subconscious mind that we don't possess it. Our identity is essentially tied up to what we believe we deserve, and that's what we end up receiving. Happiness is just like a cat. If you chase it for attention, it will just slip away. But if you leave it alone, simply going about your business, it will come back to you. Stop limiting what you think you deserve with your beliefs. Go beyond your conditioning. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So to answer the question posed in the title of this video, you're not happy because you tie your happiness to external source instead of finding it within you. So you give away the control to something as important as your happiness to the outside. You see, we attract what we already are and not what we want. And we tend to limit what we can receive with our beliefs, telling ourselves, this is what I allow myself to receive. So how do we build our happiness? First and foremost, we must learn to regulate our emotions. And we do this by grounding ourselves in the present moment through meditation, connecting with our bodies and breath, and bringing awareness to our very existence. We might not know who we are, but we know that we exist. So this is the awareness of being, and it's your true nature. And the more conscious you are throughout the day, the more detached and peaceful and thus happier you will become. So we regulate our emotions. How? Emotions are meant to flow through us. Emotions are just energy in motion. We handle positive emotions well. We feel them and they pass. We don't suppress them and we don't cling to them, fixating on what actually triggered them, trying to analyze everything. Yet we often cling to these negative emotions, and instead of feeling them and letting them pass, we focus on their causes, concentrating on the external and resisting them. So energy flows where attention goes, right? So ask yourself, when I have negative emotions, where do I invest most of my time? Am I feeling my emotions or repressing them, analyzing their causes and blaming others for making you feel a certain way and trying to make them go away, essentially? If you start shifting this attention towards yourself, towards feeling these emotions internally, feeling how they manifest in your body, giving them a name, trying to figure out what they are, and releasing this energy and ignoring the causes of these emotions for now, this is what will grow. This ability to navigate emotions that naturally ebb and flow. Surrender to what is without trying to change the experience of these negative emotions. Secondly, it's perfectly acceptable to be happy 1/3 of the time, neutral for another third, or struggling or feeling unhappy for the final third. This concept is known as the rule of thirds, and it's complete misconception that we should feel happy all the time, otherwise we are just doing something wrong. Without darkness, there is no light. You cannot really truly appreciate the happy moments without having some unhappy, sad, angry moments as well. It's all normal. And how we feel is often not just a straight line like this, but it more resembles a sine line with its ups and downs. So embrace all emotions because they are all this integral part of our human experience. And find comfort in this thought. When I feel down, it too shall pass, right? Because when something is down, it will go up eventually. And the rule of thirds helps us understand that struggling isn't a sign of failure, it's a part of rhythm of life. Accepting this brings peace, enabling us to stop chasing this happiness and just start living it. If you're going through life doing what is expected from you, or just merely doing what everyone else is doing, following that conventional path, then you're most likely not listening to yourself. You might be playing it safe, acting out of fear. Over time, our fears become our limiting beliefs as well. So, how can you ever find peace and fulfillment if you don't allow yourself to pursue what you genuinely desire? Pause and consider your own limiting belief and your attachment to external validation. Your desires are not too ambitious, they're not too big, so stop downplaying yourself. You're not here to comply with every whim of society. This is your life, and you're here to rule your own reality. If you constantly focus on what your life should or shouldn't be, you will never find calm. There will always be something within you that feels unfulfilled because you are ignoring your true calling. I have a video on identifying limiting beliefs that can help you, so you can find the link in the description below. And next, once you figure out what you truly want, it's time to let go of your attachment to that desire, to that particular outcome. Because to have a desire is to admit to your subconscious mind that you don't have it. And as Buddha said, attachment is the root of all suffering. The feeling of lack can be quite burdensome, and it prevents us from finding lasting peace. Observe when you feel a sense of lack or attachment to a person or circumstance or outcome, and just let go of it as you would do with your emotions. When you feel the strong attachment to something, abandon the rational thinking that the mind throws at you and just go and meditate or go for a walk. Bring the focus back to yourself and your awareness. And finally, introduce some rituals into your daily life. Engage in activities that bring you joy and do it regularly. Remember, life is supposed to feel good. It's not supposed to feel like an absolute struggle. So find joy in those small things in your life. Even when it comes to these mundane tasks, like, for example, cleaning, then put on some delightful podcasts. And if you are doing some chores or some life admin task that you have to complete, then maybe light a scented candle. Enjoy every step, every scent, every sensation. Try to notice it as well. Be mindful in the moment as you make your favorite coffee or tea, or do the dishes. Treat yourself to flowers regularly and surround yourself with beauty. There is this great channel on YouTube, Heaven Sent Honey, where she talks about how we can live a life with more beauty in this world of basic ugliness everywhere. So I really love her take on this, and whenever I watch it, it always inspires me to be a bit more mindful in what I do in my daily life. And when you're feeling down, just ask yourself, what can I do to make myself feel better right now? And then just do it, no matter how small it is. It could be a walk, a nap, a coffee to go, or a trip. You know, it could also be something big. So remember to indulge and pamper yourself. Spoil yourself. You deserve it. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this helpful, then please share it in the comments below. Do you also find yourself struggling in chasing happiness? Share how that's worked for you. And these are the videos that YouTube thinks that you should watch next. And remember, you are brave, you are loved. Be kind to yourself. Bye now.